What did Bob say? You said you like it as it is?
As it is written, fine.
Well, Mr. Chairman, first of all, I appreciate you initiating the discussion. You indicated that when you first joined the board. It was part of your campaign when you ran. And I know you've indicated that it's not meant to be disrespectful for those of us who have long terms, and I appreciate you accept that and don't take it as being disrespectful. And first I gave thought that having been elected 9 times to this board, I wouldn't one term can be challenge. It takes your best about a term to kind of figure out what's going on, and maybe your second term you're able to. Most people, when you look at the roster, and I have a roster of people who've served on the board, part of the history research that we've done. We roughly have 105 people who've been elected to serve over 150 years. And there's only 13 people out of that group that have served 4 terms or more. So had a term limit been put in place, it was only accounted for about 10% of the people who have served. So this notion that we have to stifle new ideas and so forth as being a basis of public debate, public policy, and public decision, I think it's run 10 times. There's only 4 people in the state history that's ever run 10 times for a board of supervisors. One guy actually got elected 10 times and served 10 times, and that's King Ron Brown in Elliott County. So he was a revered figure down there, and the people loved him, and he made sure all those were filled. In terms of the 10, I've won 9 of the 10 races I've had, except for twice in my second race and my 7th race when I ran unopposed. I've always had a scrap to get elected. It was not a cakewalk by any means. The debate of the ideas took place, and so you constantly are having to reinvent yourself and move yourself forward. I would say that my thinking today is totally different from what my thinking was when I ran the first time. New ideas, and that's great, but I think it's more important that from the voter's perspective, it's the right ideas. And just because it's a new idea doesn't necessarily make it the right idea. And I think what term limits does, and it's not going to affect me because it can be retroactively applied, which means I could serve 3 more terms, which means I could maybe run 13 times and serve 12 times. And I got to tell you right now, that's not going to happen. It's all you can do sometimes to force yourself to do it. It's a tough job, and every day getting up and doing that is not always that easy. But at the same time, it's the voters in terms of who they want to represent. Now, the concept of term limits go back to the founding fathers, and it's interesting, despite the embrace of the Tea Party and some of the other constitutional principles, the founding fathers rejected the concept of term limits. It wasn't until 1951 with the 22nd Amendment that we saw term limits imposed at the federal level to deal with executive authority, and it was basically having been 4 times as president. Now, he wasn't the only person to run for president more than 2 times. There were several that had been in office, left, and came back. Teddy Roosevelt, here within the circle, twice. He ran and came back after he turned over the office to his successor, decided he didn't think he was doing a good enough job. Reading an excellent biography that was pretty good ones on crazy friendship and so historically, term limits have only been something that has been pursued, I'd say in recent years, and it was basically, it's partisan driven, and those who run and aren't successful with their new ideas to maybe not the right ideas when it comes to the voters, and not happy with the voters' choice of the opposition that they were unsuccessful at defeating, oftentimes are the forces that push hard for that kind of reform. We saw that at the state level back in the late 1980s and early 1990s, and the state effort was driven because one person was on the ground, and they turned into this kind of demonic figure, seemingly state level. And those limits were in place for 15 plus years when I think the voters realized, the short-sightedness of that policy, and they now kind of modified and liberalized the terms. And that was, I think, now as part of the new freshman class in Sacramento, has found himself beneficial because he can maybe stay in the White House and serve for some ability to maybe affect state policy on the large major. So, but bringing it back to the local level, of the 13 people who served, 6 of those only served for 4 terms or were elected to 4 terms. I would say that